What a perfect rug. It is exactly in the center of this room. They must have got this rug cut because, like, you're never going to find a rug perfectly fits in the center of your room. But anyway, that's the problem. We have a rug. We're given its dimensions, 3 by 2, and it's in the center of a rectangular room. Right, and so there's this border, this gap all the way around the rug. That's distance x. That's actually what we're trying to find. But we're also told that the area of the whole room is double the area of the rug. Okay, so we are given the area of the rug, right? 3 times 2. So that's just 6 meters squared. And the area of the whole room is double that. So it'll have an area of 12 meters squared. Okay, so can we find an expression for the area of the whole room in terms of x? Because if we can then equate that to 12 and solve for x. So let's have a think. So what's this width of the room in terms of x? So it's 1x, 2x, so it's definitely at least 2x, but there's also the width of the rug, right? So this width here, let's just line that up. Move your magic, there we go. So 2x plus 2 is the width of the room in terms of x. Now, what about the length? Well, again, we do have 2x, because we have 2 borders, right? One on each side. But we also have, oh, let's draw this a little bit bigger, the 3 meters, right? The length of the rug, which again is part of the length of the room. So 2x plus 3 would be the length of the room. Okay, now we want area. So area of room. Well, we said that's 12 meters squared, right? Twice the area of the rug. But in terms of x, the area of a rectangle is the product of its sides, of its 2 dimensions, right? So that's 2x plus 2 times 2x plus 3. All right, for the rug, we just did 2 times 3, but for the room, we're doing 2x plus 2 is the width times 2x plus 3 is the length. And so we've simplified the problem down to this. And from here, we can expand the right-hand side and form a quadratic equation, which we can then solve. So let's do that. Expanding the right-hand side using FOIL, we get 4x squared plus 6x plus 4x plus 6, grouping like terms. 6x plus 4x is 10x plus 6. And then you might get to here thinking, all right, let's factorize. No, we are not in standard form. So standard form, just a reminder, looks something like this. Standard form, where all of the x terms and the constants are on one side, and that is equal to 0. So have a look at our equation so far. How can we make that into standard form? Right, it's not equal 0 yet, it's equal to 12. So we can subtract 12 off of both sides to give us 0. But if we subtract 12, off the left, we must subtract 12 off the right. So 6 minus 12 gives us minus 6. So here we go. This is a great place to be. We have a quadratic equation in standard form. So from here, we can solve for x. Just looking at the coefficients, or the terms 4, 10, and minus 6, they are all even numbers. So we could divide everything by 2, right? But 0 divided by 2 is still 0, so that's fine. And then 4x divided by 2 is 2x squared. 10x becomes 5x. Minus 6 becomes minus 3. So we just divided both sides by 2. So that simplifies the quadratic a bit, makes it easier to factorize. Speaking of factorizing, we can do that now. We have our 2 sets of brackets. Instead of just x and x, we will need a 2x in one of them, because when they multiply out, we need that 2x squared. And now we need, what do we need? Minus 1 plus 3. So again, we need two numbers, so minus 1 and plus 3, that multiply to negative 3. So it could be minus 1 and plus 3, or it could be plus 1 and minus 3. You'll just need to try both and see which one works. In this case, if we expand that out, that works. So we've factorized it. But when you get to this step, just check by expanding it out. Okay, so we factorized it, but we haven't solved it yet. To solve it, we need to set each bracket equal to 0. And that's because for two things multiplied together to equal 0, one of them must equal 0. Right? 0 times anything is 0, or anything times 0 is 0. So that gives us these two linear equations. Now we can solve for x, so 2x minus 1 equals 0. We could add 1 to both sides, divide both sides by 2. X plus 3 equals 0. We can subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, so we found two values for x, 1/2 and x equals negative 3. So are we done? Have we found x? Let's have a think in the problem. So would it make sense for this border width to be 1/2, like 0.5 meters, all the way around? Yeah, I think so. Right, so the total width of the room is 3 meters. That looks right. Would it make sense for the border width to be negative 3 meters? Not really, right? Since it's a distance, we're assuming it's greater than 0. So we can ignore x equals negative 3 as x represents, or is, a distance. And then my favorite thing to do in maths, therefore, these 3 little dots, therefore x equals 1/2. So to get excellence on this question, we had to firstly write the equation of the area, factorize and solve for x, and then ignore the negative solution because it doesn't make sense in this context.